They say Declan Rice is the best midfielder in the world, but best at what exactly? He's not Rodri with a compass, he's not Bellingham with a highlights reel, he's not even sure if he's a 6 or an 8. One minute he's making tackles like Essien, next minute he's trying free kicks like he's David Beckham's nephew. He doesn't assist, doesn't score much, but somehow he's everywhere. But no one can quite define what he actually does. And yet, take him out of the team and everything falls apart. Maybe he's not the best midfielder in the world. Maybe he's football's missing piece. Now, before you roll your eyes and mutter, "Best midfielder in the world," surely that's Rodri or Bellingham or that Croatian fellow who's somehow 74 years old and still starts for Madrid. Hear me out, because this, dear viewer, is not just about trophies, this is about truth. You see, Declan Rice isn't your typical midfielder. He doesn't prance around the pitch like he's auditioning for Dancing with the Stars Madrid edition. No, he's more like the final boss in a Call of Duty campaign, everywhere, unstoppable, and terrifyingly polite. But let's take a walk down Truth Lane, shall we? Once upon a time, on the rain-slicked streets of East London, Declan Rice was West Ham's golden boy, the prodigal son, with iron lungs, bionic knees and a football IQ that made GPS jealous. They said he'd never leave. He said he loved the badge. And then Arsenal came calling like Thanos with a Gucci bag. They said too much money. They said he's not a progressive passer. They said Rodri's still clear. And Declan? He just walked into the Emirates like he owned the pitch and then started actually owning the pitch. Within weeks, he wasn't just playing, he was dictating, bossing games with the composure of a monk and the intensity of a drill sergeant on espresso. And then it came. Yes, the age-old football fan conundrum, but what does Declan Rice actually do? It's a question muttered in pubs, tossed around on Twitter. Sorry, X, you watch him for 90 minutes and think he didn't score, didn't assist, didn't do the Macarena in midfield, and yet the team looks better, safer, smarter, like someone installed an antivirus on the pitch. Declan Rice is the answer to a question no one realised they were asking. Is he a defensive midfielder? Well, sure, but not in the way your football manager spreadsheet defines one. He's not just there to sit and sweep. He's the kind of DM that uninstalls your entire build-up play, deletes your transitions, and then installs his own system update with him as administrator. But hold on, is he a box-to-box midfielder then? Well, kind of. Except his box-to-box comes with GPS precision. He doesn't just run, he arrives at the perfect moment to recover, to distribute, to dominate, like a cleaner in a mafia movie, quiet, efficient. And when he shows up, someone's getting dealt with. But the problem is, he's not just one thing, and that's where England fans lose the plot. Because in the England midfield, famously built like a soggy digestive biscuit, Declan often finds himself blending in, not standing out, surrounded by sideways passers, misunderstood by risk-averse managers. His brilliance gets diluted. He becomes the responsible one, the one who covers, the one who does the dirty work. And yet, if you removed him, England would collapse like a Jenga tower in an earthquake, because Rice isn't there to be flashy. He's there to make everyone else look good, like the best kind of friend who carries the group project, shows up early, and still lets you take credit in the presentation. He's a tactical Swiss Army knife, a walking stabilizer, the kind of player you only notice once he's gone, and by then your midfield is already on fire, and Harry Maguire's playing emergency 6. So, what does Declan Rice actually do? Everything you didn't notice, and everything your team desperately needs. But now, somewhere along the way, something changed. He started shooting. Not your typical English Row Z attempts. No, I mean precision missiles, the kind NASA should be studying, the kind that had Real Madrid fans whispering prayers in 12 languages. That free kick, oh dear Lord, those free kicks, Champions League quarter-final, Arsenal versus Real Madrid, Declan Rice, standing over the ball like Poseidon about to part the seas. He curls it, it bends, it dips, it kisses the inside of the post like it just proposed to it, and Madrid are sent into a spiral of extinction. Courtois retired on the spot. Modric aged visibly. Valverde updated his LinkedIn. The reverse fixture at the Bernabeu. Rice versus Jude. Oh Lord, it was like watching two anime protagonists go head-to-head. Declan, the stoic warrior with the tactical IQ of a Bond villain. Jude, the boy wonder with Adidas contracts and teenage hormones. And in the end, Jude was left doing TikTok damage control, while Declan walked off with Madrid's midfield in his back pocket. Alongside stats that'll make your jaw drop: 92% pass accuracy, 8 duels won, 5 ball recoveries, and 1 glorious nutmeg that belongs in the Louvre. And as Arsenal fans roared, a different kind of chant began to rise. Not for Saka, not for Odegaard, but for Declan Rice. Captain Declan. Because here's the tea. Arsenal fans want him to wear the armband. Odegaard is brilliant. But Declan? Declan commands the room. He leads like Moses, shouts like a boot camp instructor, and defends like his mum's casserole is on the line. Even Arteta knows. Look into his eyes when Rice scores. Those aren't coach eyes. Those are, that's my son now eyes. Now, let's address the other elephant in the locker room, Rodri. Yes, Rodri is the metronome of Manchester City. He's composed, elegant, built like an Excel spreadsheet with a six-pack. But while Rodri controls, Declan conquers. While Rodri dictates, Declan devours. And when it comes to duels, let's just say Declan Rice doesn't lose many. The last time he lost a midfield battle, America had a black president. And yet, he's evolved. Once labelled a conservative, stay-at-home midfielder, he's now surging forward like a Tesla on steroids, breaking lines, scoring screamers, and launching counterattacks with the swagger of a man who knows Drake follows him on Instagram. But the greatest sign of his greatness? Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans. They sleep peacefully at night knowing their midfield has a human tank who passes like Pirlo and presses like a caffeine-fueled Jack Russell. And with all that's said, there's still the mystery of the number 41. Why? Why does a man of such footballing divinity wear a number that sounds like a bingo call? Ah yes, the conspiracy thickens. Some say it's nostalgia, his youth number at West Ham. Others claim it's rebellion, a footballing statement like, I'm so good I can make 41 iconic. But the dark web whispers something else entirely. That Rice is secretly part of a midfield Illuminati, and the 4 and 1 represent the formation of football's perfect balance. 4 for stability, 1 for freedom, together 41. The most stable chaos known to man. Sounds mad? Well, so did a £100 million English midfielder outplaying Madrid's holy midfield trinity and slapping free kicks like a prime Pirlo. And yet, here we are. So, let's go over this once more. Declan Rice. Runs more than your Apple Watch recommends. Tackles with the rage of a Nigerian in Lekki traffic. Passes like Iniesta got reborn in London. Shoots like he's got beef with gravity. Leads like his team's lives depend on it. Because honestly, sometimes they do. Is he the best midfielder in the world? Well, let me ask you a question. If aliens landed tomorrow and challenged Earth to a game of football for planetary survival, would you really trust Rodri to handle midfield? Would you really bank on Bellingham's hairline stress levels? Or would you look to the man with 41 on his back, a free kick highlight reel in his locker, and 10 teammates marching to the rhythm of his heartbeat? Because I know my answer. Declan Rice, the chaos conductor, the Arsenal architect, the midfield messiah. The truth, it's been revealed, and it wears 41.